the humanness in us experiences it as bad, as difficult, as a struggle, as painful. Like, I get it. I am certainly not like beyond feeling those human feelings and sometimes getting really fucking frustrated with them. The key there, though, right, is to be able to notice that I am getting frustrated with my own frustration. I am getting sad about my own sadness. I am getting whatever about my own whateverness. And to be able to recognize that the only kind of problem there is that I think there is a problem.
Hello, it's me, Jo Norton. Yes, I am talking to you from the bathtub, my favourite place to be, where I am most in flow. So why not hop in and join me? The water's warm, the bubbles are high, and we are tapping in to mind, body, and soul. Oh, hang on, just a quick caution. There's likely to be swearing. That's just what happens when I'm excited and in the flow. So if you've got sensitive ears, you might want to scroll on by. See you in the tub.
Hello. So, what is flowing through me today? What is flowing through me today? Sometimes when I come to an episode of Tub Talks, there's something that is right there. It's been flowing through me. It's been almost shouting at me to speak that message, to share that message. And sometimes there's radio silence, which actually just shows me that sometimes what my soul wants is just the opportunity to hit record and seriously go with the fucking flow. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. And I've already in doing that heard the message now. I've heard the message. I love this. And to be honest, actually, before the message that I've heard wants to come out, my soul wants me to share, my higher self wants me to share just the power in us doing what I've just done, right? In being able to trust that the flow is always flowing, even when we don't notice it, even when we've kind of forgotten to notice it, the flow is always flowing. And trust that it will come when we trust it, number one, and when we allow ourselves to almost ask the mind to step aside for a moment so that something higher, truer, deeper, wiser inside can flow. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing that I'm being called to share. Okay, where was the other message? Come back, other message. Oh, there you are. Okay, here's the other message that actually just flowed through, which is what we're now apparently going to talk about together. It just came up as a question in my mind, in my heart, asking, are we meant to be happy all of the time? Are we meant to be happy all of the time? There's a beautiful question, right? And so I'm going to allow the potential answers to flow through in response to that. Are we meant to be happy all of the time? Okay, here's the answer. Here's the answer. Yes and no. Yes and no. And I completely get from a really logical mind place, we go, no, hang on, Jo, those two things can't live alongside each other. It can't be yes and no. And I don't even mean partly yes and partly no. I mean 100% yes and 100% no at the same time. And I get it sounds a bit crazy to the logical mind that those two things can live alongside each other when they seem opposing, but I promise you they can. And actually, they really aren't opposing in the way we might imagine they are from a place of mind. So I suppose let's break it down. When yes, when no, and what do I even mean by that? There is an absolute power in us accepting the humanness of our experience and our journey. And in the humanness of our experience and our journey, we are supposed to feel all the feelings. We are supposed to have a range of physical vibrations and sensations, those feelings in our body. And we are therefore supposed to have a range of emotions, the labels that we put on those physical vibrations and sensations, and partly on the thoughts as well in our minds. We're meant to have that human experience, that human journey, because every single feeling is simply a signpost. And there are no like good and bad signposts, because technically, as much as our kind of ego mind from a place of protecting us, bless her, wants to tell us that this is good and this is bad, sadness, bad, happiness, good, anger, bad, joy, good, right? As much as our mind often wants to tell us that, fundamentally, it's not true. All of our feelings, all of our emotions are equally as valid, and all of them actually, from a place of true, pure awareness, when we step back and become the observer of them, rather than the thinker of them and the feeler of them, then we notice they are all neutral. They're all neutral because all they are signposts. All they are signposts saying something you're thinking right now isn't serving you, or isn't in alignment with you, or something you're doing right now isn't really in alignment with you. And the you in that context is a higher soul self, a limitless, unconditioned you, truly who you are at your core, but not all of who you are, because the humanness is a massive part of it as well, right? And so that's all those physical vibrations and sensations that we call feelings, and the emotions, basically just the labels, the name labels we put on those physical vibrations and sensations. That's all that they're there to do. They're there to help us. They're there to guide us. They're a beautiful gift. But of course, some of them we experience as feeling bad. Some of them we experience as feeling like not good inside us. And again, that is a wonderful gift because it's giving us some feedback. It's telling us to potentially notice and hold some serious space and bring some love, and potentially from that, it will release itself so you can step forward and choose something else. It's giving us all of that wonderful information for us to be able to do that. But of course, the humanness in us experiences it as bad, as difficult, as a struggle, as painful. Like, I get it. I am certainly not like beyond feeling those human feelings and sometimes getting really fucking frustrated with them. The key there though, right, is to be able to notice that I am getting frustrated with my own frustration. I am getting sad about my own sadness. I am getting whatever about my own whateverness, and to be able to recognize that the only kind of problem there is that I think there is a problem, that I am judging the emotion or the feeling and saying, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with this. And so like now this frustration is painful, there's something wrong with it. And so now I'm frustrated by my own frustration. It's the kind of the judgment of it. It's the attachment to it and the judgment of it that is creating the suffering that we then experience. So that is the, like, no, that's the part where, no, we're not supposed to feel happy all of the time. In that context, in the context of our humanness, we are supposed to experience a range of feelings and emotions. But I want you to also notice that in that, if you were really taking that in from a place of heightened awareness, I want you to notice that you also recognize the yes in there, right? You also recognized the 100% yes we are meant to be feeling or being or experiencing happiness all the time. Because I know that you could feel the energy of a deeper part of self, a higher, wiser part of self, that even in the human experience of what we might say, the ups, the downs, that there is always the potential for an energy of acceptance, of love, of compassion, of awareness that it is all a gift and that it is all unfolding exactly as it's meant to be unfolding, even though sometimes that feels really shitty. From that place, there's the yes, there's the 100% yes. And when I then refer to it as happy or happiness, I don't mean that like classic idea of like sunshine and light and jumping up and down, whooping. Like, that's not the happiness I'm talking about. I'm talking about that beautiful, almost innocent, I don't know why I was just brought that word, but almost innocent, expansive, open, trusting, loving, contentment, ease, acceptance. That almost kind of really peaceful, calm energy that just says, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It's the energy of okayness, enoughness, which sounds a bit like, oh, come on, Joe, I want more than okayness and enoughness. Oh, I promise you, when you embrace the energy of like serious, like okayness and enoughness, it is a beautiful thing. Like this neutrality around everything that allows us actually just to experience things from a place of pure power, because it doesn't mean we're not still able to ride the wonderful highs and the sometimes exciting lows of our human experience, but we're also bringing in our being, our human being, and we are recognizing and remembering, reclaiming, re-embracing the pure truth that everything really is unfolding in our highest good. Everything really is happening and unfolding as it's meant to. And I know to some people, if you're watching or listening to this and you're feeling like you're in a shitty place or you've been in one for a long time, that can feel confronting to hear. But this too is part of your journey. It's certainly been part of mine. And I want us all to see if we can just notice on an even deeper level that part of self, that higher self. And when I say higher, I don't mean better. I don't mean we put her on a pedestal. I mean, she is side by fucking side with all of self. But it is an energy of a higher vibration. It is an energy of soul and source and the divine that flows through us. It is our beingness that allows us to always feel that okayness, that enoughness, that contentment, that happiness, even in times of challenge, even in times where we feel like we're struggling, we can still have that glimpse of everything being okay. that glimpse even of everything being okay. And when we have that glimpse of it, we can start to expand that. We can start to put our focus and our attention on that. And that doesn't mean to deny the other parts of us. Remember, I will always say it's so important not to deny any part of self, but through holding space and loving all the parts of self, and as much as we can, loving and bringing compassion to all of the parts of our journey, that is then when we can really put that focus, that attention on even that glimmer, that glimpse of how no matter what, we are always okay. No matter what, there is always actually a place we can go inside of ourselves that knows that everything is unfolding as it's meant to unfold. And when we focus our attention on that, it expands, it grows, it starts to become stronger as it is allowed to step forward into the light. And that is a bloody powerful place for us to be. That has been one of the most powerful parts of my journey. And I know I probably say every time I talk to you, oh, this has been the most powerful. This has been the most powerful. And I'm going to say every single one of those things is true, and there'll be more to come, because all of those things can live alongside each other, being amazingly powerful, right? They all can. It can be yes and no all at the same time. And all of the things can be the most powerful parts of my journey. Really leaning into that part of self that recognizes that truth of enoughness, of contentment, almost of neutrality. This neutral energy is such a gift that is available to all of us. And so I'd invite you to take a moment to lean into yours. And if you feel like it's not there or you can't find it, ask it a question. Ask it an open question, not with a desperation or a need to be given the answer, but simply ask it an open question. Perhaps, where are you? Where are you? I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to see you. I'd love for you to step forwards in some way. And allow whatever unfolds to unfold, whether that is instantly or whether that is over the next few days, weeks, months, whatever it is. Trust that it will show itself to you. Trust that it will show itself to you. So where does it leave us? Where does this leave us? Are we meant to be happy all of the time? No. The human in us is meant to experience all the feelings, all the emotions. It's a bloody beautiful gift. Does it feel painful sometimes? Hell yes. But it's a bloody beautiful gift. And that beautiful gift element is what brings us our 100% yes. Yes, we are. Yes, there absolutely is a place inside ourselves where we can become so aware of who we truly are, that we fully love and trust and accept our enoughness and our own contentment and happiness in each moment, however it unfolds. This is literally why I do the work I do with people, to help them as I continue to help myself to really, really reconnect and realign with this soul part of ourselves, and to then from that place invite in a beautiful realignment with mind and body as well. Such a powerful thing. Such a powerful thing.
I'm so happy you joined me for a spiritual soaking. I don't know about you, but I am pruning up quite nicely here, so it's probably time to hop out. Make sure to hit the likes and subscribes and all that jazz, and I'll see you again soon for our next Tub Talks.